Today we are going to work on graphing when equations are in slope-intercept or in standard form and what that looks like. So let's start with the first one here. This one right here, slope-intercept form. We've looked at these problems before, but we're going to look at graphing and what that looks like to be able to plot a y-intercept and a slope. Now, we've talked about y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope, that is the number in front of x, which is 2/3. B is the number being added or subtracted, which is -4. When we go to graph, okay, you're going to start with the b. You're going to start with the y-intercept. You can think of it as a b meaning begin. So I'm going to start at -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to put a dot. So you should put a dot right here on the y-intercept at -4. The m is going to tell you how to move. Now, slope is rise over run, meaning it's how many up and down over how many across. Now, the 2 on top is going to tell me to go up 2. It's going to tell me to go up because it's positive. If it's negative, it's going to go down. The bottom number, when we start graphing, we are always just going to go to the right. So let's start at our y-intercept and let's go up 2 and to the right 3. Up 2, 1, 2, 3, put a dot. Up 2 to the right 1, 2, 3, put a dot. Up 2 to the right 1, 2, 3. Down 2, and you can go, so what I'm trying to do now is I'm going to go backwards. So instead of up 2 to the right 3, I'm going to go down 2 to the left 3. 1, 2, 3. Down 2 to the left 3. And then I'm going to draw a line to connect my dots. If you want to make sure that you did that correctly and you graphed it correctly, you could go into Desmos, into your online calculator, and let's type that in there. Y equals, now to do a fraction, 2 and divide 3. It's going to make it the fraction for you. Arrow over and put the x and then -4. Then you can go and look right here to see if you graphed it correctly. My y-intercept is at 0, -4. My x-intercept is 0, 6. So let's look here. Is my x-intercept at 0, 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sure enough, here is my x-intercept. My x-intercept is 6, 0. My y-intercept is 0, -4. Okay, so let's try another one. I'm going to go right here. Remember, y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. M is the number in front of the x, -2. We'll talk about that in a minute. The b is the number being added or subtracted. If there's no number added or subtracted at the end, what number represents nothing? Right, it's 0. So now when we go to graph, you start here. This is your begin. So I'm going to begin at 0, 0. Now, the way I move, here's the problem. It's supposed to tell me how many up or down and then to the right. If it is a whole number, you are going to rewrite it as a fraction. So you're going to write it as -2 over 1. Any whole number can be written over 1. Now, the top number is negative, so I'm going to go down. The bottom number, I'm always going to start by going to the right. So let's go back here to my y-intercept, and we're going to go down 2 to the right 1. 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 We can go backwards and go up 2 to the left 1. Up 2 to the left 1. And then we can connect our dots. To make sure that we did this correctly, let's go to the calculator. And I'm going to put in there y equals -2x. And you can look and see and match the points to see if these ordered pairs are on there. Like here, if I move this down, maybe. Right Oh, let's see, what, can I hit it? Trying to hit the exact number, but I can't seem to hit the exact number here. Okay, but we can look and see, is my line decreasing? Does it go through 0, 0? It does. That's what it should look like when we graph it. Well, let's look at, let me try to move my paper here. It's being sensitive, just to give me a second. Go and do this one right here now. Let's graph number 3 right here. So if you're at home, you can pause the video. First thing you're going to look at, what is the slope and what is the y-intercept? The slope is 3. The y-intercept is 1. Okay, so you're going to start at the y-intercept. You're going to start at 1. The slope is 3. I need it to be a fraction, so a whole number you're putting over 1. The top number tells you to go up or down. Since it is positive, I'm going to go up. Up 3, and then the bottom number is always to the right at the beginning. So starting at your y-intercept, count up 3, 1, 2, 3, to the right 1 and put a dot. Count up 3, 1, 2, 3, to the right 1 and put a dot. You can also go backwards and go down 3 to the left 1. Down 3 to the left 1. And then you can connect your dots. Once you've done that, you should go into the calculator and make sure you did it correctly. So I'm going to go in here and click inside and go y equals 3x. Oh, that's not a 3. 3x plus 1. Then I can look at my graph and make sure that I have done it correctly, moving in the right direction. Now, not all of my equations are going to be written in slope-intercept form. Sometimes they're in standard form. There's a couple different ways you can graph this. What we are going to focus on is having it in slope-intercept form. So that's what it means by solve for y. We need to put it in y equals mx plus b form. So I'm going to go here. To do this, I am going to get y by itself, I need to do addition and subtraction first. So this says a positive 3x. So I'm going to subtract 3x from each side. And these cancel. I get negative 6y equals, I'll go negative 3x plus 12. The y is still not by itself. I have a negative 6 multiplying by it. The inverse of multiplying is divide. So I'm going to divide everything by negative 6. By doing that, these cancel and give me 1y equals negative 3 divided by negative 6. The biggest mistake is people tell me that it is 2. It is not 2. This is a fraction. The bottom is bigger. It is 1/2 x. Now 12 divided by negative 6, that is negative 2. Here is the equation that we need to graph. So start at your y-intercept. Well, first off, I've got to have my slope and my y-intercept. My slope is 1/2. My y, that's my m, my y-intercept is negative 2. So I'm going to start at negative 2 and put a dot. My slope is 1/2. The top number is positive, so the number's positive, so it's telling me to go up. Bottom number to the right. Start at the y-intercept. Go up 1 to the right 2 and put a dot. Go up 1 to the right 2 and put a dot. Up 1 to the right 2. Then you can go backwards and go down 1 to the left 2. Down 1 to the left 2. And then we will draw our line to connect our dots. To check it in the calculator, I would not use this. I would use the original one to see if we did it correctly. So let's go in there. So it's 3x minus 6y. So let me go up here, click inside, 3x minus 6y equals 12. Looking at my line, it's increasing from left to right. It's going up, yes. Now my y-intercept is 0, negative 2. Is that what I started at? Sure is. My y-intercept, I'm sorry, my x-intercept is 4, 0. right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. The x-intercept is 4, 0. That means that we did this correct. Let's try and do another one. So right here, I need you to pause the video. I need you to try and do this one and then come back and see how you did. So on this next one, I'm going to draw a dotted line at the equal sign. I'm going to try and get the y by itself. So I need to move the 4x. So I'm going to add 4x to each side. I get 2y equals 4x plus 16. Then I'm going to divide by 2. Y, these cancel, make 1. Y equals 2x plus 8. So my slope and my y-intercept. My slope is 2, the number in front of the x. My y-intercept is 8. Start at the y-intercept. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up here. My slope is a positive number, and it's also a whole number, so I put it over 1. It's telling me to go up 2, and the bottom number is always to the right. Well, here's the problem. If I start at my y-intercept and I go up 2 to the right 1, I'm off the graph. So let's go backwards. Down 2 to the left 1. Down 2 to the left 1. Down 2 to the left 1. Keep going. And then I'm going to draw my line to connect the dots. When I go to check it, I want to make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, that right here, my x-intercept is negative 4, 0, and that my y-intercept, when I put it in the calculator, is 0, 8. Let's make sure that that happens so that we know we got it right. So let's see, it says negative 4x plus 2y. So we'll go into Desmos. I'll click inside, negative 4x plus, isn't it plus? I already forgot. Plus 2y equals 16. So if I look here, I click and it says negative 4, 0. Yes, that's what we were looking for. And the y-intercept is up here at 0, 8. So that means that we graphed it correctly. Okay, so now let's go over here. And I want you to try and do this one right here, number 2. So pause the video and then come back and see how you did. So the first thing we need to do is put it into slope-intercept form. I need to get the y by itself. They kind of tried to trick you here. You need to move the 3x. So I'm going to add 3x to each side. I get negative 2y equals 3x plus 12. Now to get the y by itself, that is negative 2 times y. So I'm going to divide everything by negative 2. So what do I get? Negative 2 divided by 2 is, negative 2 is 1. So I get y equals, next is negative 3 over 2x minus 6. This is my equation in slope-intercept form. You need to find your slope and your y-intercept. My slope is the number in front of x, negative 3 over 2. My y-intercept is negative 6. Start at negative 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's where we begin. My slope is negative, so I'm going to go down. Bottom number always to the right. So I'm going to start at my y-intercept and go down 3, 1, 2, 3 to the right 2. I run out of room, so I need to go backwards. I'm going to go up 3 to the left 2. Up 3 to the left 2. And I'm going to draw my line. Now, go into the calculator, put the original equation in there. Negative 2y minus 3x. So click inside, negative 2y minus 3x, I think, equals 12. Let me make sure I did that right. Negative 2y minus 3x equals 12. Yes. My x-intercept should be 0, -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what where the dot is. My line wasn't very good. And then I have 0, -6, which is where I started with. That's what you should have gotten. Now, there are a couple of extra special situations. Look at this one where it says y = 6. Let's go on the calculator and look at that. Go in here and I'm going to type in there y = 6. This is a horizontal line. Look, it goes straight across. It crosses at 0, 6. So when I go here, I'm going to go up to y = 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's going to go straight across as a horizontal line. What is different about this problem? It only says y equals a number. Okay, there's no x variable. This is giving us a horizontal line. When it is y equals, it is a horizontal line. It only touches where the y numbers are 6. Everywhere on this line, the y number will be 6. Okay, remember, let's remind ourselves, a horizontal line, z in there, has a slope of what? Does anybody remember what the slope is of a horizontal line? What does z remind you of? Yes, the slope would be 0. So on the flip side of that, what about if we had x equals? So I'm going to put in the calculator x equals -3. Look at x equals -3. It gives you a vertical line where it crosses the x-axis at -3. So when I go over here, I'm going to go to -3. We'll put a dot where x is -3, and I'm going to draw a vertical line. What is different about this problem is that it says x equals a number. This is going to give me a vertical line. Well, what is the slope of a vertical line? Does anybody remember? It's not a number. It's going to be just undefined. When it is a vertical line and they ask you what is the slope, you just write undefined. Okay, so now I want you to come over here and I want you to do number 2. So pause the video and try and do this one and then come back and see how you did. So on this one, x equals 2. You'll go on the x-axis where it's 2 and you're going to draw a vertical line. This is what you should have gotten. That is x equals -2. Now, for those of you for your assignment, let's look at one of the first ones so I can make sure you know how to do this. Here's the first assignment and what we were supposed to do. Let me zoom into the first one. What we're going to do first is you're going to graph number 1. Okay, so I'm going to graph number 1. I'm going to go through here and I'm going to do M and B. Remember, M is the slope, 2/3. B is the y-intercept, 1. We're going to start at the B, at the begin. So I'm going to go to 1 and put a dot. The slope is a positive 2/3. Since it is positive, I'm going to go up 1 and then to the right 3. So start at the y-intercept, up 2 to the right 1, 2, 3. When you run out of room, go backwards. Down 2 to the left 3. Down 2 to the left 3. Then when you draw your line, okay, whatever letter you run into, see how there's the letter F? You're going to go down to the bottom of your page. Let's see here. And wherever there's an F, I'm going to cross it out. Let me find one. Okay, so I'm going to cross out. Don't do that. Okay, silly paper. I'm going to cross out the F. Well, it helps if I have the pen back on. So anytime you come across a letter out of the 9 problems, you're going to cross out that letter that your line runs into. And then at the very bottom, it's going to give you the answer to the puzzle. That's how you do this one. The second one over here, One of the things it says to do is write each equation in slope-intercept form, then find your answer in the rectangular below. Write the letter of the answer in the box containing the exercise number. Okay, so if I go to do number 1, I get 2x plus y equals 5. If I'm going to solve that, I'm trying to get y by itself, and I need to move the 2x. So I'm going to subtract 2x from each side. I get y equals negative 2x plus 5. In the box, do we see that somewhere? We sure do. It is letter T right here. Okay, so letter T. So when I go down to my answer choices down here, or my box that I'm filling it in, number 1, in box number 1, oh goodness, don't move like that. Number 1, I'm going to put a T. Let's see if I can do that. So down here where there's a number 1, I'm going to put a T, because then it will spell out what we need. So you're going to have some of the letters from up there. The other part right here, you're going to solve for y. You're going to get y by itself. So like number 10, if I do that with you, we get 2x plus y equals 1. So first, to get y by itself, I'm going to subtract 2x from each side. I get y equals negative 2x plus 1. Then you're going to graph this. I'm going to go to 1 on my y-intercept. Okay, so m is negative 2 and b is 1. Plot your 1. Oh, come back here. Then you're going to do your slope. You're going to go down 2 to the right 1. Down 2 to the right 1. Down 2 to the right 1. Now in this case, I ran into the letter N. You're going to put that number in this box. So, and number 10, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to put an N in there. So on the other page, we were crossing them out. This time when you run into a letter, you're going to put that letter in the box. So then once you get done with this, then it should spell out the answer to the puzzle, and that way you will know if you're right or wrong.